Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Joe Gray before the 2015 U.S. Mountain Running Championships. How you doing, Joe?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me out here.
It's great to finally meet you in person.
Yeah.
You've run a lot of U.S. Mountain Running Championships. How many?
Yeah.
Do you even know how many you've run at this point?
I know I started, I think 2008 or 7 was my first one, and so just kind of kept it going since then.
And you've got a couple wins in there?
Yeah.
How many?
Got a couple, 3 total in the mountain running. So,
yeah. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to come out and win a title. You know, there's some of the best guys in the States, and so it's not easy to win them.
Mm-hmm.
So very thankful.
And have you won in both up and down years, correct?
Yep.
I mean, but you won up and down and up only.
Yep.
So how do you get that diversity of skill? Because some people are definitely way better at one than the other.
Oh, for sure. I don't know if I'm that much better in one, compared to the other. I think the biggest thing for me, I just like to race, and so
yeah.
I don't know. I'm really drawn to just getting out there, competitive, fighting with someone out there, and whether it's up and down or just up, I just want to be competitive, and so I don't know. It's hard to say which one I would be better at.
And you've run all sorts of stuff. Like you've won some national championships in mountain running, but you've mixed it up. If there's a championship name on it, you probably run it, right?
I've tried to, I don't know, just kind of get out of my comfort zone and be diverse,
Mm-hmm.
and just try some road races and win some titles in road, some in cross country, and some on the trail, not mountain running.
Yeah.
And I just like to try to mix it up and see what I can do, get out of my comfort zone.
Is there one that you like competing, you like mixing up, but is there something of those disciplines that you just enjoy the most that just like brings you that joy?
I get that question all the time. I think when you're at the end of one season, you start to like the other one more. So at the end of mountain running, I start wishing for cross country and road, and at the end of road, I'm starting to wish for mountain. And so I think I got equal love for all of them. I really love just like getting involved in both. So yeah, it's hard to say.
When did you kick off your trail season this year?
This year, I started in May.
Mm-hmm.
Which is about, I usually will start, pretty close to that. I had a little bit of health issues after the Pan Am Games, and so my season kind of got off to a slower start. I would have liked to have started a little sooner this year, and but it didn't work out. But I'm happy with where the season's at so far.
You feeling pretty strong?
Yeah, I feel good, and I feel like I'm building still building fitness and trying to improve on it.
I mean, how do you do that? You've been running U.S. Mountain Running Championships since 2008. You've been running an awful long time. How do you keep trying to get better?
I don't know. For me, I look at it the bigger picture and I try to progress. And so I realized there's something that I wasn't focusing on in my running, whether it been I didn't have enough volume or I didn't do enough quality or my form was bad here.
Mm-hmm.
I try to add something in every so many months and make sure I'm focusing. And, I think as you age, you get more experience, it makes you a more competitive runner. I may not even be faster than I was, say, 3 years ago, but I'm more experienced. I don't make stupid mistakes in races. I still do.
But not as many.
I still do, right. Not as many. But, I think that's a big part of it. Mm-hmm. Just more experience, getting wiser.
Building some endurance base along with that, too.
Yeah, hopefully you get that old man strength. So
there's a little bit of that going on.
Yeah.
But how do you keep that speed? That's something that, especially with something as short as the 12K mountain running.
Yeah.
How do you keep that speed? how old are you right now?
I'm 31.
31, so.
The way I work with Scott Simmons with the American Distance Project, and so during my road and cross country phases of the year, I'm getting dropped left and right from the guys in my group, and tough group of guys, and they work together, and so it definitely allows me to keep some turnover throughout the year, and obviously a level of humility to my running, and so
you can come out here and win these things. You don't win every year, but
no, definitely.
But when
not.
you're training, you're getting a hell of a beat down. Pretty
even when it comes to mountain running training, I work out with Zach Miller sometimes, and he's also in the Springs, and Zach has dropped the hammer on me a few times and made me go home with my tail between my legs, and it's humbling, but it's beneficial.
Is that guy always just head down, charging as hard as he can uphill? Because it looks like that in ultra marathons. I mean, like you see him like
he's a gritty. That's what I tell people. I'm like, Zach's a gritty runner. He's a tough guy. He really digs in, and he's a tough guy to race because he's gonna make you hurt.
Now it's interesting. I've followed the U.S. Mountain Running Championships from afar, just sort of, oh, these people are running, and then see the results afterward. But is it always people jumping into the last minute? Because it seems like the last week, a couple guys came in and a lot of women came into the race. Is that normal?
Yeah, I think, it's very similar to, the road running world is people see a great opportunity and they want to jump in. There's a world team at stake and it's in a really beautiful country. So people want to be on that team. And so,
it's Wales this year, right?
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to be on it. So, and, it's prestigious to make a national team. And you get to toe the line with the best guys in the nation. So it's a great opportunity.
Does it still feel like an honor to like represent the country? Because it's something you've done a lot of times now.
Yeah, no, every time, man. I'm grateful, very thankful every time I get to wear that jersey. Every time I make a national team, it's a huge deal for me. I'm patriotic for one. And secondly, I just love competing at the World Championship or like international events. I like meeting new people, trying new languages, trying new foods. And so for me, it's just, nothing beats it.
So you enjoy the travel, not just the competition aspect, but
yeah. I mean, I think part of the my love for the sport, and I think a lot of people, and it should be, is the social aspect behind running. People look at runners, and we're stereotyped as being very quiet, shallow, meek.
I don't get that from you.
No, I'm maybe not, maybe less of that, but I think that's a beautiful thing with especially mountain running. People talk and people are really social, and you go to another country and they want to show you this. Oh, you got to try this, you got to try that, and so, I mean, it's an amazing feeling and it's an amazing experience.
In that social aspect, do you ever like trade jerseys or?
Yeah, I mean, at this point now, because I've accumulated quite a bit of the gear, so typically I'll just kind of give it away, and maybe I'll take one piece of thing, one article from somebody. But now I got pretty much all the countries I want.
Is there a coolest one out of that group aside from the American one?
I'd say the most special. I have a really special one. Juntevet was a really, one of the best Norwegian mountain runners, and in terms of technical sense, one of the best. I mean, you may never hear about him, but that's because Norway's a smaller country. But he passed away some years ago, and he gave me a Norway jersey the year before he had passed, and so that jersey is still pretty special to me. And I really like Norway. It's a beautiful country. So yeah.
And you've done a lot of traveling, even like this last year. Were you down in Mexico for a couple weeks this past year?
Yeah. Well, I was in Mexico, wedding, honeymoon, and raced some months later after that stuff. So, yeah, Mexico's been a special place too. I got a lot of Mexico gear.
Yeah. This year the race is in Wales.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go to a race like that, are you shooting just for your best race? Are you shooting to win? Are you shooting to get the best performance for your country? Because there are all sort of different goals.
Yeah, definitely. I think those goals have to fluctuate a little bit. You come to the start line, you're not feeling good. You got to say, well, hey, I got to suck it up. I'm one of the guys who should be scoring for this team, and I got to make that happen.
You might not be top 10 that day, but if you can make 15th.
Yeah, you got to do something to help the team, And then there's also, if you're feeling great, you come to the line, and you don't want to think too individual, because you go out there and burn out, and you let your team down because you lost 10 points because you decided to be Mr. Superman. And so for me, team comes first. If I can get a gold medal or a medal individually, I think I'm going to do it within my limits. I'm not going to do something stupid that's going to hurt my teammates in the long run, because we all travel pretty far. We all want to come home with something, and I don't want it to be on my hands that we didn't get anything. So team is definitely first for me when it comes to the World Champs.
Nice. Speaking of teammates, this year you have you're running in Bend here, and one of your teammates, I'm sure, from a bunch of national teams, Max King, has been part of making the course. Yeah. Do you think that gives a little hometown advantage to?
Oh yeah, I think he made the course definitely. After seeing some of it, I think it's definitely suited for him. He did. Yeah.
He did a good job on that.
I don't blame him. I mean, if you got your hand in the mix, you might as well do it. So I think he's going to be tough. He's going to be tough on this course.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can be teammates again.
Yeah. Well, best of luck out there, and have fun out there, Joe.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Yep. And a bonus question for you. This is I haven't been on the course yet, but it's a really short race.
Right.
Do you go in trail shoes, which tend to be maybe built for, longer trail races, let's say, or do you go in are you going to run in a road flat?
I would probably not recommend a road flat on this course. Mm-hmm. I mean, it depends on how comfortable, and how strong your feet are, but I think you could step on. I mean, it's a pretty decent trail, nothing like really crazy, mm-hmm. but at the same time, if you're not ready for that kind of descent for that long, I think a trail shoe still comes in handy. Yeah. You don't necessarily need a rock plate, but that could also be handy if you like to run aggressive.
So what is that going to be for you? What are you going to lace up, do you think?
I'm going to make that decision probably tomorrow, but they're two trail shoes, but one is a little bit different than the other. So
all right,
I got to figure out which one. I'm still debating.
I'll have to be checking you out on Saturday morning.
Yeah,
see what you got.
Definitely.
Great talking to you, Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.